Have you ever wanted to just get away from it all, disappear off the face of the planet, and live out the remainder of your days in utter solitude? Well, today we're going to do just that. We're going to head down to Antarctica, the coldest, iciest, most remote place on Earth, and explore one of its last remaining outposts. But don't worry, there's no mad scientists, no killer penguins, just beautiful scenery and total peace and quiet. So if it's been a hectic day, kick back, relax, and let this South Pole slumber party wash over you. So we're starting with a nice long shot of our protagonist walking across the frozen wasteland. Twilight is settling in, and the sun has dipped below the horizon, leaving us in darkness. There's not much wind, so it's a very peaceful scene overall. Our main character continues their walk until they arrive at the research station, which looks quite run down. There are no lights on inside, but a faint glow can be seen coming from the upper floor. Let's go check it out. It's a little dark to see anything clearly, but we can start to get a feel for the interior of this abandoned station. Lots of pipes running along the ceiling and floor. Some old mugs sit on a table, covered with what seems to be a blue tarp. In the foreground, an old radio crackles with static. On the far wall hangs a faded photograph of what appears to be the research team who once worked here. The only other sound besides the wind is the faint creaking of the pipes, as if someone else were still walking around inside. But when we turn to look, nobody is there. As we continue to walk through the station, the camera will begin to fade in and out of focus, giving the impression that we are imagining these memories and not actually seeing them. We push open a door and walk into what used to be an office or conference room. More photos adorn the walls, alongside Polartec logos and reminders to stay safe. Through the window, we can see the endless white expanse of the ice shelf outside. As we turn to leave, the door swings shut behind us with a loud bang. Startled, we quickly open it again and continue down the hall. We find another door with a red hazard sign hanging from the handle. Peeking around the corner, we can see what lies beyond. A single yellow tape recorder sits on a table in the middle of the room, bathed in the red glow of its recording light. No batteries or headphones are plugged in. It's just sitting there silently. Now we'll have some fun with this. An imaginary overlay of audio waves will emanate from the recorder, slowly taking shape and form. Eventually, they'll fill the entire screen and then fade away again, leaving it blank once more. Now let's step outside. The auroras are beginning to dance across the sky, glowing bright shades of green and purple above the lonely outpost. Snow lightly glistens beneath their ethereal glow. Looking down at our feet, we can see our footprints left in the fresh powder. After a while, the auroras begin to fade, leaving us in total darkness once more. Let's head back outside and take a walk. The crunch of our boots in the deep snow is the only sound that can be heard. The camera will move very slowly as we walk forward, mimicking our real-life footsteps. After a while, the camera will come to a stop, but we'll continue walking until we reach the horizon. And even then, we'll keep on going. As the first rays of sunlight hit the snow, illuminating the endless white terrain, we'll finally turn to face the camera. For a moment, we'll stand there watching as the world comes to life around us. Then, without warning, the ground beneath our feet begins to crack. Huge plates of ice splinter and fall away into the sea, leaving us stranded on a small, shrinking fragment of the shelf. Now we'll pan up slowly to reveal the vastness of the iceberg. It towers hundreds of feet above us. And in the distance, we can see more auroras dancing in the twilight sky. They seem so close we could reach out and touch them. But as we try, the ice beneath us crumbles, sending us tumbling into the freezing water. When we resurface, gasping for air, the iceberg is gone. All that remains is the faint outline of where it once stood. And as the sun rises higher in the sky, the memory of the iceberg fades from view, leaving nothing but endless white on the horizon. Now let's zoom in on the ice. Take your time to really examine all the nooks and crannies, the ridges and ravines, the towering pinnacles and delicate filigree work. Really take your time to absorb the majestic beauty of this ancient glacier. As we continue our exploration, we come across a large cavern filled with millions of glistening icicles hanging from the ceiling like shimmering chandeliers. Rays of sunlight pierce the gloom, illuminating tiny crystals embedded in the ice. These crystals refract the light into 1,000 different colors, creating a dazzling display of natural fireworks. Moving on, we'll come across a frozen waterfall, frozen in mid-air. Time seems to stand still as we contemplate the immense power of nature captured in this single frame. Everywhere we look, there's more to marvel at. Delicate frost patterns on every available surface, from the inside of cave walls to the undersides of fallen icicles. Tiny ice formations that resemble exotic flowers blooming in an alien landscape. And finally, we'll come to a place where the ice has melted, leaving behind a pool of clear water. Gazing into its depths, we'll see reflections of the world around us, distorted and fragmented by the undulating surface. Tiny pebbles and fragments of rock and soil swirl in the current, each one telling a story of its own. The water may be still, but it's far from stagnant. It's alive with movement, with energy, with the raw, untamed spirit of the wild. Here, the ice has melted away, revealing a glimpse of the earth beneath. Handprints are pressed into the fogged window, each one a silent testament to the people who once worked here. Through the frosty glass, the outside world is distorted, fragmented, and dreamlike. It's a reminder that even in the harshest environments, life finds a way to leave its mark. As we turn to leave, a faint glow flickers in the distance. Is it a mirage or a memory? We can't be sure, but drawn to its warmth, we make our way towards it. The glow seems to beckon, promising a respite from the cold. When we finally reach it, we find an old oil lamp resting on a crate. Its flame dances in the darkness, casting long shadows on the surrounding walls. It's a small, fragile thing, yet it radiates an almost otherworldly aura. As we gaze into its flickering light, the memories of those who came before us surge to the surface. We can almost hear their voices echoing in the silence, feel their presence all around us. For a moment, we're lost in the labyrinth of reflections, unable to distinguish past from present, memory from reality. But as the lamp sputters and dies, we're brought back to the here and now. The shadows vanish, leaving us in darkness once more. Stepping outside, we'll find ourselves alone in a vast, empty night. Above us, the stars shine bright, uncaring and indifferent to our puny human concerns. All around us, the ice groans and creaks, a constant reminder of the raw, untamed power of nature. And as we listen to the mournful symphony of the ice, we realize that we are truly alone in this frozen wasteland. But perhaps that's exactly what we were looking for, a chance to escape the noise and chaos of the world, to find solace in the quiet majesty of the Antarctic night. As we sit down on the steps to rest, we can't help but feel a sense of wonder and awe at the beauty that surrounds us. The desolate landscape is strangely comforting, the endless white expanse a calming sight to behold. And as we look up at the star-studded sky, we feel a sense of peace settle over us. Taking a deep breath, we let go of all our worries and cares, allowing ourselves to be consumed by the immensity of the moment. In this vast, empty night, we find a freedom that we've never known before. We're free from the expectations of others, free from the constraints of society, free to simply be ourselves. As the night wears on, the stars begin to fade away, leaving us in total darkness. The wind picks up, howling around us and carrying with it the promise of a new dawn. But for now, we're content to sit here in the darkness, embracing the silence, letting the cold seep into our bones, and the peace envelop our minds. And then, just as suddenly as it began, the wind dies down and the world is silent once more. We feel the cold seeping into our clothes, numbing our skin and slowing our breath. But it's a welcome sensation, a reminder that we're alive, that we're here, that we're awake. And as we drift off to sleep, we know that we're not alone. We're surrounded by the spirits of those who came before us, by the whispers of the wind and the eternal embrace of the Antarctic night.